All right, I know it's been a while since I recorded one of these, but it's Oilers pull time. Now, I know it's almost been a month. It's literally been since the Rangers game, which was game 10. And now we're on game 20, heading to game 21 against Pittsburgh. Okay, so there's been a lot of kind of news about the Oilers. For one, half their defense is just fucking dead. Duncan Keith, of course, out with injury, who's been playing well so far, somehow. Darnell Nurse, of course, is out with an injury. And today, we know that Cody Ceci is placing COVID protocol. So the Oilers called him Marcus Niemelainen, their round pick in 2016. I'm not that high on him. I would have rather them to call up Dmitry Samorukov, who I think has top 4D potential. But it's whatever. Niemelainen probably makes his NHL debut against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And yeah, I'm not that happy with the team, although we are 15-5, and I will say this. When over the last few episodes, you heard me say that this team is great in the power play, great in the PK. They can score 5v5. They just can't defend for shit. They can't. They always allow goals 5v5. They're one of the worst teams defensively 5-on-5. Out of all the playoff teams right now, we are the worst 5v5. By far. We allow so many goals. There is a graph, I forgot who posted it, but the Oilers 5v5 throughout since like 2010, this is like the second worst it's been. Like, it's been that bad. Yeah, it's been worse than those other shitty Oilers teams, the 13, 14, 14, 50 teams. It's been worse than those. That's how bad the situation has gotten. They better fix up by the playoffs, because you can't win like this in the playoffs. I know we're only 2 months on the season, but you get my point. So, what's happened since the game, besides all the injuries? Well, of course, the first game after Edmonton played the Rangers, we played Detroit. Stuart Skinner started that game. Stuart Skinner has been such a great story for the Oilers. We'll talk about his Winnipeg game in a sec. Trying to look at the shots at goal here. The Wings had 39. Edmonton had 33. Once again, the Edmonton Oilers don't start on time because they never want to show up on the road. And we lose 4-2. One was an empty netter, so it's technically 3-2. Puljujarvi got one of the goals for the Oilers. The only one to McDavid. I don't really care. Nemestikov got 2. Larkin's goal was pretty bad. A pretty bad giveaway by Skinner, but he kept us in this game, so I'm not going to hamper him too much about that. Just a very disappointing effort all around. Then you go to Boston. Where Edmonton somehow won that game. We always play well in Boston for whatever reason. I don't know why, but we just do. Evan Bouchard got on the board that game. Zach Hyman. Cody Ceci had 2 points, including the goal. So, I mean, this obviously just means Cody Ceci has been elite. And I know with all the memes, Cody Ceci, so funny. Bad defenseman. Let's call him elite. That's so funny. He's actually been good at Edmonton. Like, his analytics support that he's just been good defensively. He's not going to produce that much offense. He might be a 22 point defenseman, but if he's he's been a good defensive player on that second pair. You don't want to play him on the first pair, but I digress. The next day, Edmonton, Buffalo, we lost. Because once again, Edmonton didn't show up until the last 5 minutes of the third period. Just like they always do. Edmonton always plays down to their opposition. I know we had 35 shots. Most of those shots came at the end of the third period. Because that's when the Oilers realized, oh my God, we're going to lose to Buffalo. The Oilers always play down to their opposition level. I don't know why. It's been a trend for forever. And it better stop, because it just better stop. Edmonton then went on to play St. Louis. Sorry, my throat, it's really itchy. So I'm going to get a huge drink of water after this. But, of course, Oilers, Blues. Probably one of the better games of the year despite the score 5-4. Mikko Koskinen started this game. He was fantastic. Right? The Blues could have had 10 goals, to be honest. There's 5 great saves that he made that could have been in. Nugent Hopkins got his first goal of the season during this game. Ryan McLeod got his first NHL goal. Ryan McLeod has been such a good, I wouldn't say good surprise, because I've had him penciled in as a 3C since the playoffs. But I mean, the offense has come in. He's been great defensively. That was always his main game, his defensive prowess, and he's bringing the offense so far this season, which is nice to see. You need that secondary scoring. Sorry, I thought the recording shut off for a sec. It has not. And yeah, the Yamamoto got a goal with like 28 seconds left. It was something like that. His third this season, and the Oilers also won 62% of the faceoffs. They've been great on faceoffs. So, yeah, that's really what happened in the Blues game. Sorry if I'm seeing like I'm in a rush. I got to get this up so fast, so I'm talking about a lot of the games and my thoughts, yada, yada, yada. Then we had the home against Winnipeg. The first game we did not talk about, 5-2 in Winnipeg. We played like garbage. We didn't show up. Move on. Stuart Skinner, masterclass. The shootout win on the 18th against Winnipeg was one of my favorite games of the season. McDavid scored another beautiful goal, but I don't care about that. The Winnipeg Jets had 47 shots. Stuart Skinner saved all but one. And the one shot he let in was a lethal laser from Nikolai Ehlers. The Oilers might have a goal they've actually developed since Devin Dubnyk. Hopefully they keep on Skinner, not trade him like they did with Dubnyk. But, yeah, .979 save percentage. He was fantastic. Even in the shootout, like he was tracking down pucks. Just beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. This game, it happened like a week and a half ago, so I'm trying to jog my memory about it. Tyler Benson got like 2 penalties, even though like one of them, Dylan DeMello, totally faked it. It's not even out of the question. And yeah, that's about it for the Winnipeg game. Just Stuart Skinner fucking saved our asses. Against Chicago, I mean, it's a terrible team, terrible organization. We know what happened, but the Oilers actually got 4 goals in the first period, which is surprising because I also think in the first period they played absolute dog crap. Because they allowed like 19 shots in the first period, and yet they're up 4-0. It's just classic Oilers hockey. Yamamoto got a shorthanded goal. Thank you for the giveaway, by the way, Seth Jones. Ryan McLeod scored, and the big thing about this game was it was Phil Broberg's first game of the season. Nurse got injured against the Winnipeg Jets. He's supposed to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. That Jets game was on the 18th, so Nurse could come back this Wednesday because it'd be exactly 2 weeks since his injury. So we'll see. He's coming back soon though. But yeah, Broberg making his NHL debut. 4 games played so far. He has a point. We'll get to Broberg more in a sec. And once again, Stuart Skinner started this game. He stopped 29 shots. Pretty good. And both the goals he let in were impossible. Like the first goal by DeBrincat, double deflection. Second one was a 2-0. Nothing he can do there. Oilers win 5-2. I mean, that's an easy one right there. Against Dallas, once again, Edmonton's on the road. Guess what? They didn't show up, and they got their ass handed to them. Skinner started this one. I'm not blaming the loss on Skinner, though. I mean, first of all, that first goal by Hintz, it was like a nice tip. Secondly, Robertson for a nice laser. Gurianov channels his inner McDavid. Ryan McLeod once again scored. Make it 3-1. Glenn Denny, bit of a weak one. 4-1. It's whatever. McDavid didn't get a point. His point streak ends at 17. We played like absolute shit. This was one of the worst games I think I've seen us play in a while. I mean, we've had a lot of bad games this year, but that game was just like, oh my god. The refs were intriguing. Dallas went 2 for 5 on the power play. We went 0 for 2. Our first power play was cut short 20 seconds in. Our second power play was in the last 10 seconds of the game, so it didn't even mean jack shit. The refs just want our power play percentage to go down. It's at like 38% now, which is, I mean, it's still pretty good, but I want a 50% power play, of course. Next game, Arizona. Tippett pulled a Tippett, and he put Kassian with McDavid. We won 5-3. Mika was in it for this one. Here's the funny thing. I think the bottom 9 was actually solid, even though they didn't get any of the goals. They were really good. Oh yeah, this is also, I forgot to mention Dallas Keith got injured, but fuck Keith. But yeah, Kassian got 3 points. He's obviously elite. And it's the Arizona Coyotes. Who really cares? The big game I want to talk about was Vegas. This game actually made me have confidence in the team. Mikko Koskinen started this one. And just like Skinner against the Jets, and like I said, Koskinen against the Blues, Koskinen was fantastic. Vegas had 38 shots, but a lot of them were grade A. Like, the Giants had like 4 grade A opportunities in the first, and they scored. The game would have been over. But Mikko held them in it. Barry to Nugent Hopkins with his second of the season. Nuge has 2 goals. First Nuge has 20 points in 20 games. That's awesome. He's going to get his apples. He's always been a great passer. He needs to use his wrist shot more. The thing with Nuge, and I'll get to him more in a second when I go through every player, is that he's usually a slow starter. So the fact that he only has 2 goals in 20 games may be alarming, but it really isn't. But like I said, I'll touch more on Nugent in a sec. Hi McGowan from Cassian. Puljujarvi from Bouchard and Fogo was great. That was a breakaway. It was a nice shot by Jesse. Chandler Stevenson scores 4 minutes after. Then Riley Smith. Edmonton wins the game, and they go to 15-5. So, who's been playing well? Who's been playing bad through the quarter mark? Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you. So, I'm just trying to pull up the stats here on AHL.com. This video is going to be 20 minutes long, but I don't care. Leon Draisaitl gets an A+, 20 goals, 20 assists, 40 points for 20 games. What else is there to say? Leon's just been a stud. Connor McDavid. It's Connor McDavid A+. Now, Nuge. Like I said, 20 points, 20 games. He's typically a slow starter. He usually heats up at the end of the season. That's just how he is. 2 goals through 20 games is unacceptable, though. Even though he's my favorite player. You got to get him going offensively. He's been better 5-on-5. He has used his wrister more. And right now, he's shooting at 4.3%. That's so unsustainable. His average is 11.6 last year? Let me check right now. I want to make sure I get this right. Nugent Hopkins' career shooting 11.7. I was close, off by 0.1. He won't shoot 4.3% for the rest of the season. I think by the halfway mark, when I do another one of these, he should be at 10 goals. If Nuge hits 20 goals this season, I'm fine. Jesse Puljujarvi, 16-20, A-. Been fantastic. Hopefully they lock him up to an extension soon because he's going to cost a lot of money. Zach Hyman, 15-20. And that's an A. He's been just as advertised. He'll probably hit 60 points this season, maybe 70 if he's lucky. Just a tenacious forechecker, good defensively, creates chances, awesome. Tyson Barrie, 12 points through 20 games. I give him a B-. I keep saying he's not good on the power play. Darnell Nurse makes her power play better. Edmonton has a higher scoring rate with Nurse on the power play than Barrie. They keep throwing him out there. And, I hope they trade him. Down them on the right side, you can have Bouchard, CC, maybe a guy like Philip Kep. I'm happy with that. They won't do that, but hopefully they do that. Evan Bouchard, 11 points for 20 games, B+. He's been great. He's prone to the defensive deficiencies, but he's a rookie. That's going to happen. He will correct those over time. Darnell Nurse, 11 points for 16 games, all assists. I give it a B+, actually maybe A-. He's really improved his defensive game. Is it worth $9.25 million? Not yet. But I think him and Bouchard are definitely going to continue the chemistry whenever Nurse comes back. So, good progression on Nurse. Cassie, 9 points for 16 games. 4 of those points just came in the last 2 games, and 3 of them just came with Connor McDavid. So, I'm not giving him an A+ for having 9 points in 16 games. I'm going to still give him a D. That contract sucks. If Cass was making 1.5 on the 4th line, I'd be really happy with that. He's making $3.2 million. He's not playing like it, so you better play like it, Cassian. I don't hate you. I just hate your contract. Because in reality, I love Cassian when he's engaged. Warren Fogle, 8 points for 20 games. He's on pace for around 32 points, which is his career average. He's been as advertised. It's just that you don't trade Ethan Bear, a cost-controlled right-hand defenseman, for him. And that's showing this season. So, Fogle hasn't been bad. He's playing like he's supposed to, a 33-point guy. He's just not worth Bear. Cody Ceci, 6 points for 20 games. He's been great defensively. I give him probably a B+. I still think $3.25 million for Ceci is pretty fair. It's just that you don't want to be signing this guy for 4 years like we are. If it was a 2-year deal, it would have been perfect. But we went 4 years. Yamamoto, 5 points in 20 games. I'm giving him a B-. Yamo, I think, obviously the 2019-2020 season was going to be an anomaly. He wasn't going to be point per game again. And he's a great forechecker. He's a great PKer. That's always been Yamo's best traits. I just think he needs to be a better finisher. The passing's there, even though he has 1 assist. The passing's there. He needs to be better at finishing. And I think I like this from Yamo. I think he's a great third liner. He's an okay second liner. He's not a first liner. And that's fine. Like, in the future, you're good. Like, we have Holloway and Borgo. That's going to push Yamamoto down the depth chart anyways. Like, if Yamo can sign a deal like a 2.2 for like times 4, and he's in your bottom 6 when Holloway's up, when Borgo's up, that's a great deal. And I think that's what his ceiling is. I don't think he'll become an elite 60-point guy. I think he's a 30, 40, maybe 50 PK or second power play option. That's fine. You know, a lot of teams have that. You need those guys to win the cup. Duncan Keith, he's been good, surprisingly, defensively. I just don't like him. I want to give him an F, but I have to give him like a B+. It's still a bad trade. $5.5 million for another season. Fucking yikes. But he's shockingly be good. Ryan McLeod, 3 goals through 12 games. I'm going to give him like a B- or maybe a B+ too. Not an A, but he's growing. His offensive game's rounding out. The defensive game's solid as always. He's going to be the Oilers' future 3C for the next 10 years. Kyle Turris, F. Shore, F. I don't need to explain myself about those. Slater Cuckoo, F. Colton Sevier, I give maybe a C+. He's a good... I like him as a forefront energy guy, similar to Tyler Benson, who I'm also going to give a C+. You know, they're good defensively, and they're turning to pass. Like, you know, Benson wasn't going to make the lineup off skill, which sucks because he's a skill player. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from him so far. He's forechecking hard. He's getting under the opponent's skin. And that's what you kind of have to do from as a fourth liner. So credit to Benson. I hope he gets a goal soon. Derek Ryan, probably a C-. Only 1 goal through 17 games. I love the Derek Ryan sign. I still do. He's still a good defensive forward. Hopefully he picks up the offense too. I can still see Ryan getting like 20 points. Chris Russell, broken NHL record. Leader in NHL block shots. Awesome job. He's still meh. So I'll give him like a C- or whatever. Philip Broberg, so far from what I've seen from him, even though it's through 4 games, I'll give him a - stay defensively. He is such a great skater. The offensive instincts are there. I'm excited to see what he can do through a full season soon. Perlini, a Z. That's not even a rating, I know, but he's been shit. Lagesson, he's played 2 games. Lagesson's kind of bad though. Mike Smith has not came back since the Anaheim game on August 16th. He's played 3 games, but I mean, he is 2-0. I can't judge Smith because he's been injured. Mikko Koskinen, though, 11-2. Guess what? I like the video I made like a couple months ago. Respect Mikko. He gets no respect. I'm giving Mikko a B+. Skinner, even though he's played 5 games, 2.44.928. I give him like a B+, maybe A- as well. That was a lot. I was right. This is going to be near 20 minutes. I promise now I'll be more consistent with it. The past month has just been so crazy with news, games, personal stuff anyways. But yeah, I want to do this long update video about the quarter mark of the season, all the games I missed, even though I kind of rushed that part, etc. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.